Hello, good day, and welcome to today's section of our 30 Days of Code Challenge brought to you by Codeflex. Today, we are going to be looking at something very quickly, which is responsiveness, right? In as much as in the last section, we delved a little deep into responsiveness, we did one or two things which are actually our responsiveness. Today we are going to formally introduce responsiveness. Now, when we see responsiveness in front-end development, what are we talking about? We are talking about how our web pages adapt to different screen widths, different screen sizes when they are being accessed, especially with different devices. For instance, if we have a website, we are not expecting that these websites are only going to be accessed with a laptop. So if we design the website based on laptop, we should also make a provision for people who access the website using tablets or mobile phones. So the ability of your web app to be able to adjust to different screen sizes is what is referred to as responsiveness, right? So there are different ways of making our dream of a responsive web app to come to true, right? Like if you follow our last section, you will see that we delve into responsiveness. I use media query and I also use CSS grid, right? And now we can easily make use of CSS grid to implement responsiveness without having to use our media query. Meanwhile, our media query is a standard for making um, our website responsive. Now, what is media query? Media query allows us it is a CSS concept that allows us to write a different style, right? For different screen size, especially screen width, right? So it's like me saying I am making this website for a laptop. I made my website for a laptop and I say, okay, assuming somebody is accessing this website with a device that has a lesser width, I want this style to apply to that. So I'll specify my styles, my new style inside the media query that states that particular width or a range of that width, right? So that's what media query is all about. And you see it here. Media query are usually media query usually have a syntax that look like this at media, like this. It starts with at media, and the next thing is you have this bracket where you are going to specify your width. Then you have your curly bracket open and close, right? Where you are going to specify the style for this for the specified width. So now there are different ways of specifying ranges of width that we use in CSS. That we use to implement responsiveness. Now, if I design a website on a laptop, that means a um, I want to write in my media query styles that will work with with mobile devices or tablets, for instance. So that means I'm compressing my code right from laptop into mobile, right? So what I will use there is give my styles here a maximum width. So what I'm saying is this style should apply to a width that is below this maximum width. So that means as the website is coming down, as I'm compressing it down, once it gets to this width, this new styles should apply. So that is why I'm going to use maximum width to set the range, right? I'll say max width. So I want this style to apply this to this width and screen size until this maximum width is hitted, or is sorry is hit. Once it hits that maximum width, change back to desktop um, um version of my styles. So if I put, that's why you see me use maximum width here. So if I say for instance 768, oh sorry, 768px, right? I can now come here and say once it's 768px, header, for instance, sorry, okay, sorry, header should have a background color of red, right? Just for example. Now look at it. Once we are compressing it, sorry, once it gets to that particular width, I'm still compressing. Okay, I think I should use something else. Let me use, sorry, let me inspect my page and use mobile so that I can see my width very well. So this is my header and I'm compressing, but the color did not change. So the color is supposed to change immediately I hit that. So let's see why my color didn't change. Mass width 7. Okay, okay. Let's look for the fix. Let's look for our header and see what's happening. Okay, what we use here for our header is actually an ID selector, and ID selectors have higher specificity, so they are going to have higher authority over element selector, right? So let me change that. I actually use name, right? Let me change it to name so that it will be the same thing up there. So you see that once I hit, watch my value up here. Once I hit 7.6, can you see that? Okay, let me do it manually. 7.68 and below. Once I hit 7.68, it changes. Once I come down to 7.68, it changes to red. So I am specifying that okay, once my screen get compressed to this width, the background color should change to red. So that's exactly what I did up here. I just wanted to use this to explain that that's exactly what I did up here in the last, sorry, in the previous section. Okay, so that's exactly what I did in the previous section. I said once my width compressed to 600px, right? I want my body to display grid and I want my grid template areas to have the following rules, different from what it was having on a bigger screen, on screens that are above 600, right? So there are also other way of specifying the same thing. I can also say um, at media, um, right? Then I'm saying that okay, if assuming I design for mobile, right? That my design, although that's going to take us time to rearrange our page and make it a um, um, mobile display. Then now start to use media query to change it to bigger screen. So assuming I actually design for a mobile and I want it to adapt to bigger screen when the website is being accessed with maybe a laptop and all that, I will not use maximum width, right? I'm going to use minimum width. So what I'm saying is the styles below, right, should apply, right? They should apply until this minimum width is exceeded, right? So the mobile display is going to be there. Now when the screen is expanding, and the new styles written inside my media query are going to apply at the specified minimum width. So that means any width above that, they are going to apply. Any width below that. So as your screen is growing bigger, once it gets to that level, that minimum width of your styles, the minimum width that your styles will apply, right? The styles will then apply. So that's just it. Then there are other ways I can actually also use ranges instead of having to use max width like this. So I can say that okay, once my width, right, is less than 600 pixel, this particular styles above, copy. I just want to show how we can still do it in a different way, right? In a different way. What happened? Okay, sorry, I didn't copy it completely. What happened? Okay, all right. So I'm going to take this off to see that it's still having the same effect, just to show that it's having the same effect. So what I have done here is I have used um logical way to represent the same thing I did up there. So what I'm saying is once the screen is less than 600 pixels, I think this is more clear and more understanding, right? Once my width is less than 600 pixels, the styles below should apply. So now let's see if that really works. Once my screen is less than 600 pixel, right? You see that it worked, right? It worked. So the difference between this is that you must get below 600 pixel. Now, if you want to say that my screen should be, because if I take it to, once it's 600, it's not going to apply because the condition says it must be less. Once my screen is less than 600, so 600 is not inclusive. For 600 to be inclusive, I have to come back to my code and see once it's less than or equal to, right? Once my screen is less than or equal to 600, that should apply. Now you see that it applies immediately, it gets to 600. Then you can also use ranges of value. For instance, I can say that if if um let's say, I can also say that if my screen is less than, if let's say if 800 px is less than my width, if 800 pixel is sorry, if my width is less than 800 pixel and is also less than, what am I saying? I'm just trying to use other logical statements. So if my screen, okay, if my screen is greater than 600 pixel, let me put it here, 600 pixel, but lesser than or equal to 800 pixel, right? I want to take all this off and apply another style. Take this off and bring back my header should be red, right? Background color should be red. So I have specified another range, right? Now I'm saying if my if 600 pixel is greater than my width. Sorry, what am I saying? I think I was actually correct. If 800 pixel, yeah, If 800 pixel is, sorry, yeah, if 800 pixel, if my width is greater than 800 pixel and is less than 600 pixel, right? Am I correct? Is my logic correct? Sure. If my width is greater than, no, greater than 600 pixel, and if my width is lesser than 600 pixel and greater than or equal to, if my width is greater than 800 pixel and equal to or less than 600 pixel, I want my background to be red. So that means I have specified a range, right? Let's see how that works. It's not working because I have gone to use header again. Sorry, my bad. Name. Okay. Now you see that this is going to work within a range. This style is only going to apply within 800 pixel and 600 pixel. Now let's see. If I go beyond 800 pixel, it ceases to work. If I go lesser than 600 pixel, it ceases to work, right? Where is it? So if I go less, it stop working. If I go above, it stop working. So I have applied a range of when this header should have this background color. So the same way I have used just background color to make everything easy to understand, you can apply any style you want to add within there. You can decide to say aside should disappear or aside should appear, should display none or display block. You can say a particular element should have a zero opacity. You can decide to say a particular element should have a width of 100%, and then once it's not like it doesn't fall within that range, it should have a width of so, right? You can see every style you want a particular element to have within that range, not just background color. I'm just using that because it's easy to see and explain, right? So that's all about media query that uh that's all about media query as related to responsiveness. Although media query are also useful for other reasons, you use it in when it comes to um um theme, that's dark and light modes. There are other purposes why you use media query, but because we are talking about responsiveness, we just talk about media query as related to responsiveness. So thank you for being present in today's section. Thank you also to Codeflex for making this a reality. Please like, share, and comment, and I'll see you in the next section. Bye.